What's up, folks? Welcome to HitPointsGaming's third podcast. Today we're going to be talking about these guys' trips to Japan. But as always, we're going to first start off on what it is that we've been up to recently. So me personally, I've been playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I want to say it's kind of a crappy experience, but it is fun with like multiple people. That I will say. Besides that, same old things, man. Elite. Started playing a little Final Fantasy 14. I retired from Street Fighter 5 again. Started playing 4.
Again, yeah.
Again.
I'm getting so tired of that game. And besides that, that is really it. It's been pretty boring for me. What about you, Chris?
Well, I've been playing some Rampage Knights, which is like an indie beat 'em up game. That's pretty fun. It's like 2 players online co-op, and it's got like a roguelike kind of thing to it. I should be doing a review for it soon. So that was really cool. We're back to Heroes of the Storm, MOBA game, because they released like a bunch of new stuff, and they're trying to get more people back in like this new 2.0 version. Okay. But it's fun. There's some new maps. It's pretty cool.
I saw the Overwatch characters are in it now, right?
Yeah, they've added a lot more of them.
Oh, it's Blizzard?
Yeah, it's Blizzard.
Oh, yeah.
So it's free to play, and they've just been like adding more and more stuff to it. They added like the loot crates from Overwatch into it. So it's fun because there's like more gear to get. Japan. And I just finished Spartan Race, but we kind of talked about that in the other thing.
Awesome. So you guys, you should definitely try to get in touch with like Bobby and them, because I know he has a team of guys that he plays Heroes of the Storm all the time.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So you guys should totally get together and go MLG and win millions of Blizzard dollars.
I'm all right, thanks.
All right, Corey, what about you, man?
So since we came back from Japan, let's see. Games. Zelda's always on the list now. I picked up Mario Kart, which we'll talk about later. The Switch is really good. But in the board game realm, we got back to Kingdom Death, which is good. We got another episode out the other day, so okay. I'm glad viewers and fans appreciate that one. I did play this new game that I've been waiting for. It's called Rune Wars Miniatures, and it reminds me of Warhammer. I was a big Warhammer fan years ago when it was in its prime. And it incorporates this whole like X-Wing flight system. So it's more of like a simpler version of Warhammer. So I played my first game the other night with our buddy Gabe, and I really like it. So hopefully it grows and it turns into this big tournament scene that I'll be a part of. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to attempt one more time in my life to actually paint figures again.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
See if I have time. I got this whole new paint set. That's why I'm selling some of my board games to fund some other board games and painting supplies. So that's what I've been doing. And the one thing I want to point out, I've got an idea of a new board game series, or at least an episode that we're going to put out, and all 3 of us hopefully participate. It's going to be a Sherlock Holmes game, where I think it's Watson and Sherlock. And we're going to set it up pretty well with the way that we tape it, so all of our viewers can actually play along and try and solve the case by themselves.
I'm ready for that.
So I've got a pretty good idea, so stay tuned for that, and that should be out and whenever we can get together, all of us. So
yeah, and timing, I have to admit, timing is tough for me right now with the baby. I can't always commit to just about anything. So it is, this episode of the podcast, I actually totally flubbed our original recording, and we tried to get together a couple times over the week to redo it, and it's just like I really could not do it. So I apologize for this late third podcast, but we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Corey, anything else? No,
that's it. I'm ready to talk about
Nihongo.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. Let's see. Let's start with what you would consider. We'll save the best for last. Right?
Okay. Good.
So, what were your biggest disappointments? We'll start with Corey.
Okay. So Japan. Right off the bat, it was great. I had a wonderful experience. But let's get this out of the way first, because this is what our episode's about: video games, board games. Our entire lives. Well, not entire life. Since middle school, high school, we've been talking about this trip. And we've always wanted to go to Japan. Now, years ago, before something called the internet and eBay, it was this magical land that you could go to and get all of these anime figures, Dragon Ball episodes that they haven't appeared here in the US. How many times did I see that same episodes of Goku fighting the Ginyu Force, right?
Yeah.
For years, and you're waiting for the new episode, and like they're already on to like GT in Japan. Like, wow, I wish I could go there and buy all these really cool all these cool things in the city called Akihabara.
Not
right?
to mention either, like they had Dragon Ball games on Super Nintendo.
Right?
Like Super Nintendo, where we didn't get one until PS1. We got what, Final Bout, I think it's called?
Final Bout.
Final Bout. So
right. So all these magical things. So this is what I was really looking forward to. And let me tell you, it is the biggest disappointment. Biggest disappointment. By the time we got there, we've already seen a few other arcades, and we'll jump into the arcades. I'll leave that up for Chris to go into it. But all the arcades were the same, and all the figures, they're overpriced, and I could just get them on eBay much cheaper, and I don't have to bring them back in my luggage. So that lost that whole nostalgia because we can just get everything now here, and I was really looking forward to maybe finding like some Switch. I don't know, anything for the Switch.
Maybe like custom colors or like a case,
anything.
A dope case.
Yeah, it could be like the Switch case with Japanese characters on it. I don't care what it said. It could say Switch, and I would have bought it. I didn't find one thing. That's what I was disappointed in. The actual gaming experience in Japan, lackluster.
Well, I think part of that would be just because in the time that we're in, everything is so accessible everywhere.
Agreed.
Everything is. I remember ordering stuff even for like my PSP, man. I was real excited when I found out that I could order stuff off PlayAsia and get like PSP games, that were Japanese, because PSP was region free. So I got like the Tenchu games, I had gotten the Guilty Gear games, stuff like that. So now you got to figure, though, maybe in a place like Akihabara where it's gonna be the same, right, as everywhere else, besides the text on the stores not being in English.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it kind of stinks that you finally got to go there, and I'm gonna go there at some point, and that the dream it's almost like it couldn't happen. It's almost like it couldn't happen because everybody, even video game consoles now and games, they release worldwide at the same time. Everything does. If you want to get the latest Dragon Ball episodes, whether it be, I don't even know what streaming service would have those, but like Crunchyroll, whatever, Netflix, everybody gets it. So it kind of stinks that happened at this point.
Yes.
Chris, what do you let's hear about these arcades over there.
Yeah, the arcades, like you were saying, we went to a few arcades before we went to Akihabara. So we kind of got like a taste of like, we were going somewhere, we're like, oh, there's an arcade. It's our first arcade. We got to go in it. Let's go. So we go in, and like the first floor is crane machines.
Like
everything is crane.
The entire floor.
The whole thing. How many crane machines would you say?
30 maybe.
Okay.
But like they're big crane machines. Like they've got like electronic things like make waffles. They've got big plush dolls. They've got key rings and stickers and buttons. Everything in these crane machines. Like an entire floor of them.
Pretty cool. It sounds pretty cool right now, right? Yeah, okay. Sounds pretty cool. Keep going.
I mean, getting a waffle maker out of a crane machine sounds
pretty
awesome.
amazing. Yes. I mean, like, they're just... But it's a crane machine. And if you're from, I guess, the U.S. we're from Jersey, so we go down to, like, the boardwalk, and we know crane machines, no one wins unless it's, like, you are... Like, it's programmed every 75th person wins.
Right, just like... And it's funny you say that about the crane games being rigged, because there's a game called Stacker. I don't know if anybody's ever played Stacker.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And everybody swears. There's so many people that swear that you can do it every time, but no one has like proof, right? And the way Stacker works is it's just like a bar. You have to stack things on top of each other. And my rhythm is incredible, by the way. I can get it every time, all the way up to the minor prize without missing one. And then you get to the major, and it's like I feel that I hit it, and it just goes boop off.
Nope.
You did not get it today, boy. So you can let's. Sorry to interrupt, Chris. You can keep going.
No, it's all right. But with that, like, I even have a video. I'm trying to put it together soon. Corey's trying to win something in this crane machine. It's a big box, you know.
It's like a Star Wars figure.
Yeah, it's a big, like 12 inches by maybe like 10 inches. It's a big box.
A big figure. And
you can see there's like 2 poles, and it's spread between. It's on those 2 poles, just barely hanging on. You know, so here comes a crane, and it grabs around it, but then it just kind of lets go, and it moves it a little bit,
Classic.
And you're just like, yeah, you're just slowly picking it up and dropping it, moving it just a little bit every time, and it's $1 every time you play, or 100 yen, you know, so 90 cents.
Yeah.
So you put a couple bucks into it, and you're like, it's gotta go. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go. And then.
It's rough because it's not like the crane games where we know it goes down, grabs it. Like the hardest part is just actually getting the item and then seeing it move and then it drops it. No, every time, every $1, it's moving. It's moving a little bit.
You get a little taste.
It's almost there. Another $1. Nope.
And then, so like, I think you were like $8 in.
Yeah.
You're like, forget this. We're walking away. So this figure is like barely hanging on, but it's been barely hanging on since we started, you know, so it hasn't moved really. We're like, all right, cool, you know, forget this, we'll go upstairs and we'll go do something else. We come back downstairs after doing whatever, and the figure is back to where it was. Now, I know we're not Indian in the cover here, but that thing didn't go back by itself. You know, they went back and put that back on the rods, like to reset it, so that someone else wasn't $10 ahead of the game, kind of.
Yeah.
Yo, that's insane. That somebody's eyeing you down, seeing how far you move it, and then when you walk away, they go and move it back.
Yes.
That has got to be the
dirtiest,
shadiest, carny
you know what?
style thing.
How? Think about it. Wouldn't you want a job like that? Like if you were in high school and like this is one of your first jobs, whatever. That might be pretty cool. Like sucker, reset it on somebody.
Yeah, but if you did that, I feel like that may be like a standard over there. If you did that here and somebody saw you do it, oh my god, they'd be so upset. Like,
yeah, like I just went up to go get some more money so I can come back to my machine, and you reset that.
Oh my god, dude, they would be furious, absolutely furious. So tell us about the rest of the arcade.
All right. So first floor, you're done with that. You're done with these crappy crane machines, and that's the entire floor. So you go up to the second floor, and every arcade's kind of different. The second floor has more arcade games. Third game is more arcade games. Fourth game is more arcade games. So now we're all right. Well, cool. So I want to just kind of skip ahead. We've been in the first arcade. We saw some new games. Cool, because they're new to us. We haven't seen them in the States.
Right.
So where do we go? The mecca of video games, geek culture. The mecca of where everyone wants to go who's in video games. Akihabara. We run in, we go to the Gundam Cafe. It's pretty cool. We get some overpriced food, but whatever, you know, fun. You can see arcade. Go. Let's go. Let's do it.
Chris,
yes.
Remind me, what was in the first floor of that arcade?
Crane machines?
Crane machines, yeah.
Yes.
Of the Gundam arcade.
You know what? Name another arcade, Doug.
Sega.
Boom. Crane machines.
Crane machines.
30 crane machines. Next one. 30 crane machines.
The Taito one. Crane machines.
Yo, it's crazy because you figure, Taito has such an amazing back catalog of arcade games, and a lot of people don't know that about Taito is they died out pretty early. But if you get MAME or whatever, and you sort by Taito, they have some of the best games ever. Stuff that I've never played. Like, I couldn't believe the Taito. I'm like, I had no idea that Taito was his boss in the arcade. And for them to have the crane games, like, you figure, I mean, it's not over here. I guess it's not the way that I would do it. Like, I would have all the old school stuff on the first floor, and then the next floor you'd have like the new stuff. You know what I mean?
There was not one arcade that we've discovered in Japan that had that old school arcade cabinet.
No.
Any of those old games.
Right. Well, they had some main cabinets.
Okay,
where they
like
had
this,
a couple
where
older games on it.
Choose the games.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was kind of like the Neo Geo cabinets where there was like 4 games in it kind of deal.
Okay.
It wasn't a Neo Geo cabinet, but it was similar where each one had like 4 or 6 games kind of deal. And it would be like Street Fighter 3 Alpha or something like that, you know, like it wasn't everything. But you know, like there wasn't enough. So anyway, the first floor is Crane Games. Second floor is a Gundam game.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is just, I mean, every arcade's kind of different, but every arcade had a floor of this one Gundam game where you're in a pod.
Yeah.
And you played this, Corey.
It was cool. Yeah, the first arcade we ran into, we're like, wow, this is pretty sharp. Let me hop in and whatever it was, I don't know if it was like $2, who knows, to get into this pod. I couldn't figure out how to get it started. I put the money in, money would fall out. We had to walk away. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna walk away. I'm not gonna find this game, like this arcade again. This is really what I wanted to try out. Well, luckily, the next 8 arcades had this game because there's only 7 games in these arcades. This is one of them.
So it's funny you say like, because even here, if you put money in an arcade machine and it comes out, it just means it's broken.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, this one's obviously broken. Let me try the next arcade. What do? I get in it, put my money in, falls right out. I'm like, I can't take this. I walk over, Sumimasen, can you take a look at this arcade?
Okay.
This guy, he kind of knew what I was talking about. He had to go through the menu system. I don't know, he had to go through like 8 different screens, selecting different things, all in Japanese. I don't know what they're doing, in order for it to accept my money for me to start playing the game.
Oh man, okay. So there's a similar experience, but it wasn't so much like that where there's a Spot 8 on the break here in Jersey where they have like the Japanese rhythm games and stuff, but they have Initial D. And when you play Initial D, there's different modes. There's like single player, there's versus, and there's like co-op you can play with your friends. But I sat down with the machine and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I don't know how to get through these menus. I have no idea. So I had to have one of the Initial D, veterans every time me and my buddy played, set it up for us to play versus mode every time. Yo, but Brady have to do that before it accepts your money. Like, you can't even put your money in and do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Which is like, cool. This is broken, like you said.
It's cool because then if you put your money in and you don't know what you're doing, like now I'm out $3.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But
if you chose the wrong thing.
Yeah. Okay. I will have to say though, with my, I don't know if it was $1.50 or $2. I played that game for about 10 minutes.
That's a long time.
It was great. I played a match. My match was over. It was like a 4-on-4 team game, just versus AI because I wasn't playing with the other people. And then that match was over, and I went right into another match. Wow, it was great. So it was a good time. I think the prices there for really all of their games was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what were some of the other games that we saw there, Chris?
We saw, back to that Gundam game, like you were in a pod, like it was a big screen, like your whole periphery was a screen.
Oh, you mean like the screen itself was around you?
Yeah, it was around you, and then you had like
a
door to come in on your left that you had to get in, and you like sat down, you sat like in a cockpit. It was cool.
I'm just gonna buy one.
Yeah, right. And then it was cool with that too, and a few other games, they had almost like a control station.
Yeah.
So they had 12 of these pods or 10 pods, whatever, and they had a control station that had different buttons for pretty much each pod. And on that button controlled the TV screen that you're watching, so you could watch, like if they were having a 4-on-4 match, you could watch everyone's screen from there, almost like you're like on ESPN.
Commentator, yeah.
That was really cool. That it's all plugged into that, and you're like, okay, what is this guy doing? All right, what's he doing? Oh, they're going here. That was really neat.
They actually did that. That like reminds me of like a death cam where you can watch your friends. The original Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare maybe had that where you could like cycle your friends' windows on your screen. I thought that's cool. Yo, for that to be an arcade game, that is sick, man.
Yeah, that was really, and it was just its own thing. You didn't pay for that. You just went over and were like, oh, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? That's pretty cool. That's something that we don't have here, that's for sure.
Right.
So like another game that they had was, I don't even know what it was. It was some girls that turn into like battleships. That's all I can tell you.
It was a cool controller. It was just like a wheel on a ship that turns left or turns right, and maybe one button. That's the entire console.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was weird, but it looked cool.
It looked cool, but like a lot of their games too, they don't have, like when you go into arcade, you see the game being played kind of deal, you know? Mm-hmm. And a lot of the games there are just like the FMVs, or like, you know, like movies, but not actual game footage. So I don't even know what that game is. It's an anime playing on the screen that I put dollars in, and maybe I watch more anime. I don't even know. Like that was.
You could put $1 in and end up being like a cell phone game for all you know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
I did notice a lot of their games. It was very intimidating because you're right. I couldn't see what the game was, so I didn't know what I was getting into. But all these games looked like you had to level up your character and come back. Like they were full-fledged games. Okay. You're not playing and sitting there and enjoying yourself for 5-10 minutes and that's it. Like I play and then I'm gonna go back home and come back a week later and play the next level because I'm saving all my data. Okay. And you see a lot of these guys and it's like I saw like this is weird. I'm gonna call like adults or people older than us that are there, cigarettes, like that's their job, like that's their night out. I'm gonna sit and play this game. It was weird. It didn't feel like a young, fun arcade. Yeah. It was like more of like a job.
Well, I know for a fact that they're huge on card systems there for games in general. For racing games, for even like some adventure games, I think have like you can always save your own data, like Tekken and stuff in Street Fighter. You've always got cards and codes over there to where you can save your data. And I know like when Street Fighter 4 was big, you could actually go to an arcade, sit down at a Street Fighter machine that's only one player, and play online against other arcades. And you can save your data and stuff. So I know that that's definitely a big thing there. But it is interesting that the culture there. You said like it's a guy with like a cigarette. And he's playing this game and leveling up his character, but
with like a bottle of scotch next to him.
Right.
Like that's he's just hanging out, Like, oh, okay.
That's just something that you don't see here, and I wonder if you would see it here if games are like that, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think you would. Did you happen to see while you were over there? Because I saw this online. There's a horse racing game.
Yes, that's what I was just gonna say.
Okay.
It was kind of like Corey's saying. People would go and sit down and be there for hours, I guess. The horse racing game, I don't know what it was called, something Horse Racing 3000 or whatever. And some arcades this was almost in every arcade, they had an area. Like imagine going to like the horse races.
Yeah, like watching simulcast.
Yes, that's what it was. And
that's awesome.
It looked like I don't know because it was in Japanese, it looked like you bred a horse. You raised it, like Corey said, he saw some guy petting the horse in the game.
It, like My Little Pony before like the winner's circle, or as he's trotting around, like that's what I want.
So you're breeding a horse and you're racing it, and I'm almost positive because when we came into some of the arcades, there was big like signs and like fireworks around the sign that's saying like we have this game, win, and then it was like a certain amount of yen, like thousands of yen. So maybe you bring your horse and you race other horses, like other people's horses, and you bet on them. I don't know. That's what I assume. That's the way it looked like. Or you would go and watch maybe another arcade's horse and you would bet on someone. But it looked like you use real money to bet on horse racing.
Wow, so you raise a horse and you can win real money.
Yeah, and it wasn't us playing. It was like our grandmothers were there.
Yes, yeah.
Like, that's what they did.
That seems like the perfect game for that, though. Like, for like older folks to race horses. You would figure, and we've had horse racing games here, but you just kind of go and bet, right? Like you just hit buttons to bet on horses. Like I know that for a fact. Or you have the horse race game like a.
When you sit on, you race.
Yeah, like in Great Adventure.
Yeah, there's that one too. And then there's one at like Great Adventure where you throw the balls in the hole.
Oh yeah.
Horse across. But I would never think that they would have, what I would consider Harvest Moon Cross horse racing.
Right.
And where you get real money, that's insane.
I think I'm almost positive, but like Corey, like you guys were saying, both of you saying, it's a very card-based game, like system. Like everything they had is use a card and you bring it in tomorrow, or the next day that you come, and you track your progression.
That's really awesome. I really wish we had anything like that over here, especially East Coast. I'm sure that the West Coast, because there are arcades that even if they are dying out, which I don't think they are, they would still probably have most of the latest, technology and games over there, because I don't even know what American games are there that are going to arcades besides like sellout shooter games and weird.
Well, this is a topic for like another conversation, but this is something I totally thought of. Like we like consoles. Like, we all have consoles here. And maybe because they have small apartments there or something like that, they don't, like, they have PlayStation and Nintendo. Like, maybe that's where they do. Instead of buying a game for $60, they go to the arcade with $60 and they spend it there.
And if you're keeping track of a character, then it's definitely an incentive to do that. That's for sure. Awesome.
Yeah, because like one of the other games was it's like 2 pistols and you can like lock them together, but like you again have a character you progress. And you run around and shoot other AI, or you can battle other players in the arcade, like a 2-on-2. So that was like another card-based level up system. Like, I tried to play it, and it was kind of silly. It's like 2 guns with like D-pads on them, and you just kind of like shoot. You aim on the screen. It's like wherever you aim is where you're shooting. And you're trying to just fight the AI, jump where they are, and shoot them, kind of deal. It was kind of silly. It was fun, but it was kind of silly, and I think it would be really cool with the character progression. But
that
was it.
That sounds bad.
And that's it. Those are every single arcade game.
They did have a floor. Each one had a floor of like the rhythm games.
Yeah.
You know,
the whole thing of rhythm games.
Rhythm games. And they had maybe 4 or 5 different rhythm games, but they were the 4 or 5 same rhythm games everywhere.
You have to excuse me. My tracking for the cameras are backwards. I'll fix it while we're going. So so you have crane games. You've got Gundam. You've got the progression, we'll call them arcade RPGs. And then rhythm. It's like, how many floors? What? It's like a lot.
7.
7 floors? Yeah. See, I need to go there anyway.
Yeah, well, the floors are imagine like your kitchen. You know, like your kitchen, that's a floor kind of deal. I mean, they're a little bigger, but like, it's not like...
So you're not fitting 30 crane games in my kitchen.
You're not having 7 floors of Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking.
It's okay size, bigger than a kitchen, but not. You're right, not like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you guys want to talk about next? You want to talk about like, did you guys like enjoy the food?
Yes, I 100% love the food because I had Kobe beef and I love sushi and ramen. So I was just in heaven.
Yeah, that's it. Like
that's all I ate.
I don't eat sushi. I will definitely eat some Kobe beef and some ramen. That is for sure. But sushi, that's something that I just never got into. What about
you? Just haven't had the right kind.
Oh, okay.
That's it, man. There's sushi. You can have sushi on anything. Oh man, sashimi. Sasami. We had so many great stuff. Salmon. You can even get like fried chicken on there with like mayonnaise. Oh man.
I will let you take me out one day.
Okay.
To get sushi.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
I will
like
give you the good stuff.
Okay. Chris, what do you think
the
about
ramen was good. Like, Corey and his wife found a really good place, ramen. I can't remember the name, but it was like, you kind of go to a vending machine. A lot of places have vending machines. You put your money in a vending machine. You get a ticket. You go inside. You hand the person your ticket, and you sit down, and then your food just kind of appears, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Let's start that over.
That was so fast.
Oh, I'm trying not to
sounded
take everything
so
up.
awesome. That sounds awesome. So you go to a machine first. You place your order there.
Now this is a great scheme. Like, if I don't even want to say it, because if I ever ran into enough money, I would want to do this in the States. There's no people. You just walk up to a machine or some pictures, you see what you want, you read what you want, you hit what you want, you put your money in, and you paid for it. Now a ticket comes out. All right, here's my ramen ticket. I go over, I go inside. Now this particular restaurant that we found was really good. You take that in, and you get a piece of paper, and you pick, what was it, Court? It was like your noodles and...
Yeah, how do you want your noodles cooked? How spicy do you want them? Do you want to have how many cloves of garlic? There was like 7 different things that you could select on a 1 to 5 point scale. So to customize your order already based on what you pick from the vending machine, and then they take that, all right, you hold on to that, and then they call you into these seats. And Japan, real quickly, they are very go out to dine alone. It's okay to eat by yourself. Here in the U.S., the culture really isn't that. Like, if you see someone eating alone, well, that's
I don't know about that.
You see someone alone, you're like, wow.
That's what people say. You think.
Yeah, you feel awkward.
That was so harsh.
I've done it many times.
there it's like the norm. So you sit down into this really small like cubby. It's like this big, but all I see is this curtain in front of me. I got a little spigot for my water that I can just constantly just refill whenever I want, and then an area for my bowl. So they come by, you hand them the ticket, they come by, they take it. A few minutes later, they come back, they bow, hand you the food, close the curtain. So now all I have is my bowl of ramen, and I'm just going to town. And it is
So you guys didn't
awesome.
sit together?
Yeah,
Sit in
there's like-
separate
yeah.
booths?
Yeah, there's booths, but like that booth, like what he's saying, like on the side, you can kind of open that latch up and open it a little bit so you can speak to
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, I can see the person next to me, but like I'm button shoulders with the guy next to me. I don't know who he is. I don't
Wow.
see him. He's busy eating.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So
Now, you've only seen 2 employees at this point. The person who takes the ticket, or the person who tells you where to sit, and then the person who hands you your ramen.
right, and
Right.
clearly there's cooks, but besides that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds like you can make
It was
a
cool.
killing. You
And
can
then,
make a
yeah, and like the
killing.
seats itself are, I'm pretty sure, hooked up to like a electronic system where when you sit down, a light turns green. So someone's sitting there. When you get up, it turns red. So it means no one's
Oh
sitting
my
there.
God, that's
so
so
they know,
good.
send someone else there.
Yo, imagine if you
Yeah.
had like a barbecue spot.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally.
You pay first, right? Like there's no questions if you just pay first and you go in. Oh my God, that sounds
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
so
the
quick.
greatest idea ever.
So we kind of went on a tangent here. I know we wanted to talk about video games and games, but now we got into Japan a little bit. I will talk about our last night at the sushi restaurant, about this whole like restaurant thing. We walked in and it's like there's 2 different types of conveyor belt sushi. This one in particular was kind of like a train belt. So you would sit down and you have like an iPad in front of you, and that's your menu. You go through the iPad, blah 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 blah. Okay, I want this. Bing, order. Maybe a minute later, you get this notification on your iPad. Here comes the sushi. It stops right in front of you. You take it off the tray. You go, yep, I received it, and that's it. And you just order everything that you want, and your order goes on this like placard that has your number on it. So then whenever you're done, you just walk up, you don't wait for a check or anything. You just walk up to the cashier. They scan your little barcode. They're like, oh, that's $12.50. I'm like, oh, here you go. Out.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God, that is crazy.
So
Imagine if you had a spot like that where you could go over there and be like, put a burger and fries on my plate.
Uh,
Wham. Fucking 6 pieces of fried chicken. Wham. Oh my God. I guess you couldn't do burger stuff because that would take a while to cook. But if you had like salads, wraps, fried food, you could do, because you can just keep that stuff warm. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Oh my God, that sounds like the best idea.
It was cool. It's like
crazy
little
that their
finger food.
technology. It's crazy the way that they innovate something as simple as a restaurant. Because if you go to a restaurant here, it's the same everywhere. Besides the music, the environment that you're in, it is the same.
yeah.
They went so far as to innovate, and you already told me like 2 completely different things. Mind you, you told me you order at a vending machine and then you sit and get your food handed to you to a curtain, and then this other one you have a train that brings you food in a minute.
Yeah.
That is
It's so
That's
nice because you
mind-blowing.
don't have to
Mind-blowing.
worry about like, did you get the check yet? We have to wait for this woman to come around, this person to come around and give us a check.
Yesterday we went out to eat and we couldn't. The woman just disappeared. Couldn't get our check. So the fact that is a thing where it's just like, I'm gonna go up and pay myself and leave. That is fantastic. Like I wish I could. That sounds like something we need to invest in. If I hit some kind of money, I'm getting a Japanese style soul food joint.
Yeah.
That's it. That sounds great. Anything else with like food? Did you guys eat anything interesting or anything that was absolutely disgusting? Corey eat anything, right? Corey,
I will eat
Yeah.
anything.
You don't care.
I had tongue and
That's
in
gross.
some sort of animal intestines.
That's also gross.
Whatever. I did
Was
it.
it
I'm
was
in
it
Japan.
was it good?
The tongue really wasn't that bad. The intestines, what did I call it? It was like a, like when you're eating a steak, like the fat on the side that you cut off.
Like the gristle?
Yeah, eat that, but it has the texture of like a rubber band.
Oh my God, no
That's
thanks.
what it was. So.
No thanks. See, I can't stomach something like that, man. I cannot even eat it. Chris, what about you? You eat any like just stuck to plain Jane ramens and stuff?
Oh yeah, we stuck to ramen, some udon. Becky and
Okay.
I were we did not do any of that crazy. We had the Wagyu and stuff, but we didn't do any intestines or anything.
Okay. So, when Corey got back, he handed me a bag of green tea Kit Kats. Now, when I first ate this at Corey's house, mind you, I took one and I ate it. It tasted like animal food. Like if you were in a bird food section of PetSmart and you smelled it, that's what this thing tasted like. But when I got home and they were in the fridge, dude, when they were in the fridge for like, and when they were chilled, they were actually good. I liked them. I thought they were good. I thought they were gross at first, but I ended up liking them. Chris, did you buy any?
No. I did not buy any of them. I want to tell you that my wife probably spent a mortgage payment on the Kit Kats. They're like, the bags are pretty cheap. They're like $2.50, $3 for a bag, you know. So you get like 9 or 12 like of like the Halloween size Kit Kats, you know, or you can
like
spend
the 2 pieces.
Yeah, like the really small ones, not like the big, you know, the bigger ones. Or you can go and get like the gourmet Kit Kats, you know, like apricot and like these weird flavors in a box, a collector's box. It's a collector's box for like $8.
That's
$12 for like 8 of them.
Premium chocolate.
Yo,
Premium.
How are you paying more than $1 for Kit Kat? And
I don't know.
only 2.
I don't know. So $100 later, our luggage is full of Kit Kats.
Well, which ones did you like? Did you eat them?
Yeah, I brought some to work. I brought some home. The sake ones are pretty good. We have
They are.
We have a cherry blossom sake one, which is really good as well. It is really good. It tastes and smells like sake, you know. They're not bad.
Get that stuff here. I wonder if they have a Kit Kat spot somewhere in the city where you can go and get that kind of stuff.
Well, the whole lowdown of Kit Kats is I can't remember which one it is, but it's like it's owned by Nestle in the States. Or no, it's owned by Nestle in Europe. So that's how they have the crazy flavors.
Okay.
But Kit Kat is owned by Hershey in the States, so we don't get those crazy flavors. Or like vice versa.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's owned by 2 different companies, so that's why they have different flavors and we don't get them.
I bet if you tried to import that stuff, it'll be killer.
You know what's crazy? The guy I work with, he went to his wife's Filipino, so they went to a Filipino market. And what did they have there? Kit Kats. The same Kit Kats we bought.
Sounds delicious.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah. Well, they had like strawberry, the green tea.
Yeah.
They didn't have all the crazy ones that we bought, but they definitely had.
They didn't have the premium ones. So
Right.
money well spent.
Oh, of course.
Kit Kats were like the #1 candy there, so that's why I'm talking about it.
So yeah, I definitely would want to try the sake ones. Like if I could order those, that sounds
They were good.
I'll save you some.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I'm down for that. So overall, I guess let's talk about overall like absolute favorite things.
Do it, Corey.
Favorite things. We're gonna start with Corey.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly say 2 things, but not even talk about them. We went during cherry blossom season. Amazing. If you ever plan a trip to go to Japan, make sure you go then. It is beautiful.
Okay.
We went to this one castle, Himeji Castle. It was awesome. I got to take my shoes off, got to go to the top. It was beautiful. I cried of joy inside the castle. It was weird. I teared up. I was just having so much fun being inside this castle. Okay, that set aside.
So now, you know what? I'm not
moving on.
No, I'm not gonna move on yet because I want to tell you, and this is about something that you guys didn't necessarily agree with me on, about how like you were like so happy when you were doing that, is Artful Escape of Francis Vendetti. When I was playing that game, I literally like held it back. I was like, I can't believe what I'm playing. So okay, back to the castle.
Okay, all right, good. The #1 thing in Japan was doing real life Mario go-karts through the streets of Tokyo.
Why else do you even need to be alive? Why? Like, what else is there?
That's it. I don't really know what else I can do that's going to be as much fun as that. Like, so it was like, well, it was like 2 hours. It's going to be longer because Chris will tell you what happened. But it was like the 4 of us, another brother and sister couple, and then like our driver, like our leader, and we were just following him along. He looked like a real life Mario, like a retired Mario, a plumber, and now he's driving go-karts. And it was just really cool. And we're driving maybe like 50 miles an hour, like in the streets, over bridge. We've got traffic on either side of us. No helmet.
Wait.
No seatbelt.
You're telling me that these go-karts are doing 50 miles an hour and you are driving in traffic?
I'm passing cars. Motorcycles are passing me. I'm kind of like, pretending I'm throwing shells at them. People are stopping. They're taking our picture. It was awesome. It was really, really cool.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. But you know what? It was like driving it to us. We're in New Jersey, New York. It was like driving down Times Square.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That
all
sounds
these
like so
people at night, all the signs are lit up. We're like driving down like Fifth Avenue of New York in go-karts. In Japan, like Tokyo. It was awesome. That was my highlight.
That sounds like that's probably the absolute greatest thing ever to experience. At least one of them. That sounds like something that everyone has to do if you've ever even played Mario Kart.
First of all, if you've ever played Mario Kart, absolutely.
Right.
If you haven't, to have a chance to do something like that,
even if it's not Mario Kart, just go do that.
I mean, the Mario Kart part is just dressing up as like a Mario character.
Okay.
But just the fact of driving the carts,
right?
Through like he's saying, traffic in the streets. That's what's awesome.
That's insane, dude. That could never happen here. So what's this? Corey said it took a little bit longer because of Chris.
It wasn't because of me, technically.
Okay.
It was because of what happened to me. I put up a video of like our like a kind of real quick of like just us driving through up on the YouTube page. But what happened was, we stopped, and Ken, our guide, said, "Don't turn your go-karts off." So I was like, "All right, cool, leave it on." All right, we go take our picture at Tokyo Tower. We're starting to get going. I'm at the end of the 7 people. 7 people. I'm at the end. And now, mind you, we've been blowing through red lights. We're trying to stick together. So I'm going through red lights. I got people almost hit it crashing into like my wife and I. Like things are happening. It's crazy. So I'm going down the hill, trying to catch up with them because I'm last and we're trying to stay close. And my car dies.
Oh man.
So that kind of sucked. That was pretty bad.
Because we didn't know. Here we are.
Y'all just kept going?
Yeah, they just kept going.
Yeah, how could I see behind me? I'm busy driving. I'm busy dodging shells and bananas, and here I am. And then we make a few turns. We're driving. All of a sudden, Chris's wife pulls up next to us, and she's like, "I think I lost my husband." I'm like, "What?
Oh my goodness.
You think you lost your husband?" "Yeah, I don't know where he went." I'm like, "Oh my God, we have to tell Ken." I'm like, beeping the horn. I'm like, beep, 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 beep. Here they go. They're driving down the street. I have to wait till we get to another stoplight. Be like, "We lost somebody?" It's like, what? So, yeah.
So what happened to your car?
The battery died.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm sitting there, I'm pumping the gas, trying to get it going. Like 5-10 minutes later, because this is a big thing. Like everyone does this. This is a big tourist thing.
Okay.
So they had another group. He came over and he was like, "What's happening? What's going on?" "Oh, I'm not from the town that you guys went to, but I'm from another town. I'll call. I know who he is." So we got in touch with him. He comes back, picked me up. We switch cars. He's able to get my car going after he jumps it.
Okay.
And then I get in his car and we catch up with the other group. They're just behind a garbage truck on the side of the road.
Yeah, your wife is in tears.
Oh man, she was
dead.
Upset.
I'm sitting there on the side of the road and dressed up as Princess Peach, trying to calm her down. All right, it was rough.
Well, you know what? It's funny that we're talking about now what happened because we know he was safe.
Right.
And we know that his battery died, and it's kind of like a joke. But to be honest, if that happened to Fran or someone that you knew, and all of a sudden you couldn't get the guy to stop, so you don't know what the hell's going on, that would be potentially terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I was glad it was you, Chris, because at least I knew I think I knew you would be okay.
Right.
You would know, hey, I'm gonna go to this guy. I don't know if it was either of our lives. What would have happened?
Bro, if that happened to Becky, And
it would have been horrible. That's why I put her in front of me, because I was like, God forbid anything would happen. I'm behind, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Should have done that too, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like that's the thing. Like you're in an unknown country. You don't know the town. They drive on the other side of the road.
You could have been taken.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. You know?
You could have got.
When you were dressed up as Goku, I don't think anyone would have messed.
They weren't going to mess with me. They weren't going to mess with me.
No, you know what? That's even bigger target, right? The tourist guy dressed up as Goku, clearly Caucasian. You got, somebody who's thinking that they're Liam Neeson coming over
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah,
it was
scary.
fun. Like he came by and he apologized profusely.
Of course.
Yeah. But I didn't see any compensation for it. I didn't get anything, like, here's a free ticket, or, oh, here's another picture. Nothing, like.
Well, we got an extra like 45 minutes on our trip.
Whatever.
It's a long time.
But it was definitely fun. That would not stop me from doing it again. Like I would totally do it again.
Absolutely. Chris, what would you say was your favorite thing?
The cherry blossoms is amazing. We went at the perfect time. The two ladies planned this trip perfectly. Like we landed, the cherry blossoms were blooming, beautiful, and just before we left, they started to like fall off.
Oh,
so we have a lot of cool pictures of them, like where we went, and they're just blowing through the air, and it's beautiful.
That's awesome.
We went to Nara. I'm gonna try to put up another video too with that. The girls are feeding the deer. Deer just walk around, like it's their big thing. Nara. They have just wild deer walking around, and they're kind of domesticated because they're used to people. So they bow to you when you give them some cookies, But
Really?
they attack you. They're like geese. If you ever went and fed the geese, they're like that.
Okay. Interesting.
And probably the Mario Kart was my most favorite, besides the fact that we did not go and see the monkeys.
Oh, the infamous monkeys.
These three
It
crazy
rained,
people.
so these guys didn't want to go try to see if it was open. He lucked out.
Monkeys are scary.
So we were talking about this actually, about these monkeys, and just so the viewers understand, during this conversation about these monkeys, because I was all about it, right? I was all about it. During this conversation, one of the ladies said that you are not allowed to look at the male monkeys in the eye. Immediately, I said, you know what? I am not about that life, because I'm not going to a monkey zoo that I'm not allowed to look at a male monkey because I might get hurt.
And they're right there. They're not caged
There's a
up.
guy
They're
with a
right there.
stick there. He's okay. He'll protect you.
No, you gotta. You could do the same thing at a tiger zoo. Hey, look, tigers everywhere. Don't look at them in the eye. I'm not going. Like, I'm not gonna get hurt by this savage beast. Monkeys aren't nice. We know that. Monkeys are not nice animals.
They have prehensile hand, like they can grab and rip and tear. They have claws. They have teeth. There's a bunch of them. Like if a bunch of them were to come at you, you can't handle a gang of monkeys, a gaggle of monkeys.
You couldn't handle two, really. Just like you can't even handle a really mad cat. One mad cat. You can't handle a mad cat.
Corey's cats, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You can't handle that cat.
You can't handle a cat. You can't handle a monkey. There's no way.
So I was really relieved when it started to rain and we couldn't go see the monkeys.
Oh, that's a shame, though.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was a great time. Like I don't feel I have to go back to Japan. I think we've done a lot of the things, but I would totally recommend anyone. It has nothing to do with video games. It's nothing to do with any of the geeky culture, whatever you want to call it. It's just a beautiful place to be. Everyone's so super nice and it's so clean there. It's an experience. It's totally different than the American thought, of life.
Yeah, that's it's awesome to say that you say that everyone's really nice, because if you even go out west here, and it's funny that you mentioned about the restaurant where you sat next to like a stranger and you didn't know him. I was out west at South Dakota with my granddad, and we were at a small restaurant in town. Me and him are eating. These two random dudes say, "Hey, is anybody sitting here?" I'm looking at them like, "Don't you see us sitting here?" You know what I mean? Mind you, it's like all old people though. And my grandfather was like, "No." So these two dudes sit down, like, what? All right, whatever. They pay their buck. They have their coffee. They say, "Where you from?" Clearly, I wasn't from there. And he was like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Jersey." Okay. Sip. Okay, bye, guys. And I'm like, did you know those guys? He was like, "No, I've never seen them guys in my life." I'm like, what just happened? If you ever were at Fridays in New Jersey, just went to some random table, like a guy and a girl, guy and a guy. It don't matter. Is anybody sitting here? They look at you like you're absolutely insane.
They're ready to fight you. Yeah.
Don't you see me sitting here? You know what I mean? So it's interesting the different cultures, even within our own country, that it's so different, especially when you go overseas. You know, I can't say the same about Italy. Everybody that we dealt with was nice that were employees. You know what I mean? But I mean, we didn't really interact with too many other people besides like the guy who worked at the restaurant or the waitress. So it's like, you know, we had like the tour guide. He was nice, but I mean, he has to be, right? Or else you wouldn't go on
not
his
gonna
tour.
tip him. Yeah,
wouldn't go on his tour.
Well, there's just two more things I want to say.
Go for it.
The language barrier really doesn't exist. A lot of people speak English or just enough to get by.
Okay.
And two, everyone has a cell phone and everyone is always on their cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh, so just walking.
Just walking down. I mean, there's signs everywhere. Don't walk on your cell phone. You know, people are on the train while on their cell phone. It was a little weird. I mean, even though we have teenagers here constantly on their cell phone, everyone's on their cell phone.
That's interesting that it would be, because here we're known for just that too. Like, everybody's on their phone. But for you to say, for you to bring it up and it's that much worse.
It's 80% of the people on the train are on their phone, and 60% of people walking are on their phone. You know, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, they are very. They keep to themselves a lot. They're very shy, so I think that's why they use their phone. All the time.
Yeah.
You know? Everything's very quiet there. You could tell when there's foreigners just because they're having a conversation.
Oh, really? Okay.
Everyone else isn't saying anything, you know, and it's nice on a subway. It's nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? But
that's just cool.
It was fun. It was good.
Corey, you got anything else you'd like to add?
Nope. I love the trip, and I'm looking forward to getting back into gaming now that we're here. We're well rested. I know that entire week we were all messed up with the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't play any video games, but I'm looking forward to getting back to our board game, finishing up some campaigns, possibly getting Persona 5 because of the whole Japanese culture now. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll probably be doing another podcast again in about 2 weeks. Who knows what the subject's going to be, but we're going to try to make it awesome. So take it easy, folks.